Ladies and gentlemen, welcome wrestling fans worldwide to Knoxville and the Great Smoky Mountains for the Ron Fuller Tennessee Studcast.
6 feet 9 inches tall, 265 pounds.
This historic podcast from one of the most respected and successful wrestlers and promoters will follow the footsteps of the largest and oldest wrestling family on the planet.
Listen to what I'm saying. That's right. Bring that camera in here a little bit closer.
Through 93 years and 4 generations.
The stud has arrived.
Old school or new fan, this unique broadcast will educate and captivate as Ron details decades of professional wrestling's growth with truly unforgettable stories.
I want those people out there at home to hear the stud.
Sit back and enjoy the ride with the Tennessee Stud.
The Tennessee Stud. You will learn that name. You will remember it.
And now,
the stud is here.
Hey everybody, welcome in. It's David Summers. Here we go. It's another Studcast with the Tennessee Stud, Ron Fuller. This is the story of wrestling in America as told by the stud, whose family started the profession over 100 years ago. So now, let's step back into the ring. Let's step back into time as we get wall-to-wall and treetop tall with the Tennessee Stud, Ron Fuller. All right, you know what, Ron? You've got to be one of the busiest men in America. You have an extremely popular, brand new TennesseeStudStreaming.com channel that is on fire and adding new content each week. You have a new When Wrestling Was Wrestling weekend show on your YouTube Southeastern Rewind channel, and you're still doing the weekly Studcast and getting close to the remarkable 400th episode. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man, it looks like I'm going to be leaving some kind of legacy here one day, Dave.
No doubt.
Where fans can come in and find a little bit of everything related to professional wrestling, especially the history of it, and especially old school wrestling. So, which is, in my opinion, still today, quite possibly the most popular time for wrestling in the sport ever.
You know, I don't know if you're going to like me saying this, Stud, but just 2 days ago, you hit 77 years old, and I'm sure very few people know you still go to the gym regularly. Like, how often per week do you go to the gym?
Oh, geez, man, I try to get there 3 days a week.
Wow.
So if it depends on how much I'm doing otherwise, which is too much, it seems like.
Yeah, literally what your schedule allows. You also still do all of your Studcast. When Wrestling Was Wrestling weekend shows, you handle all of your social media. And speaking of that, I just found out one of your 3 Facebook pages, Ron Fuller, the Tennessee Stud page, is just a few fans away from 10,000 friends. That's cool.
Oh, man. Sounds like you've been a little too busy for your own good, Dave. You should know, man. I can still do a darn good pile driver, and I know where you live, man.
Hey now.
You kind of busted out everything on me, didn't you?
Right.
Thankfully, man, I've been around long enough that the Studcast, which began almost 8 years ago, has gone from being a total audio show only to one that now has videos, man, of my Southeastern TV shows from 44 years ago, and the new When Wrestling Was Wrestling weekend show on the YouTube Southeastern Rewind is almost entirely videos.
Well, you know what? I don't think a trip to Dothan, Alabama to see me is necessary, Steph, because I think I could still outrun you, and I could be wrong on that. All right, but how about we get into what we are here for today before I start looking around corners, okay? I've been wanting to ask a question about this new Southeastern crew. Basically, many of them in 1981 had been in the territory for only like a few weeks. Is it just me, or was this new crew really getting over as fast as they seem to be?
Well, that's a great question, Dave. And after sending guys like the Mongolian Stomper and Joe LeDuc and Don Carson, Johnny Valiant back in basically at the end of 1980, which is barely a little more than a month ago, I had never seen a new group of wrestlers get over so quickly as this group did. But when I think about it, who was in the new group replacing the old one, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, in less than 2 months, Jimmy Golden, Paul Orndorff, Brad Armstrong, Massa Siato, Dennis Condrey, Robert Gibson had all arrived. And there was two more on the way at this point. One of those was Ken Lucas, who was one of the greatest stars in the history of the Gulf Coast down there.
Mm-hmm.
And another one was another one of these great young stars, Stan Lane, who was destined for greatness himself.
All right, after hearing you name them off, no wonder they were getting over so fast and filling the buildings back in the day. If I counted correctly, I think that was like 8 of the best wrestlers anywhere in the world arriving in a territory in just over 1 month's time. For a booker, that really had to be a blessing. So it didn't make much difference who wrestled who with talent like that.
Well, that's a good way of putting it, Adam. And and I kind of planned it that way. It wasn't a bad time, for me to get some rest. I'd been basically I'd barely had more than a week off for the last 11 years at that point. And things were going so very well, man, that's for sure. But the booker could never get too comfortable when it came to taking care of business. But basically, I had an ace in the hole, Dave, Bob Armstrong. There was none better than him to become a new booking face.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what was the card for Southeastern this coming week? Set it up for us, lay it out for the second week in February of 1981. Here we go.
Well, let's see, Dave. Before we go there, I'd like to do a little recap of what had been happening in the past few weeks, because there was so much going on at that time. Bob Armstrong and Massa Siato had been going at it, man, in these tremendous matches where some karate moves had been used in every one of them, it seems like. And that fact was going to lead to something very unusual for any territory. A match that very rarely seen anywhere. Paul Orndorff and Norvell Austin picked up where they left off as tag team partners in another territory prior to Paul coming into Southeastern. And they had set their sights on the Southeastern tag belts of Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose, and already had a win in a non-title match to prove they were worthy of title shots, for sure. Brad Armstrong and Jerry Stubbs, they'd been having these phenomenal matches for belts. They had both proven to be champions. In fact, they were both champions. Brad was the United States Junior champ. Stubbs was the World Junior Heavyweight champion at that time. So something totally unexpected was going to happen in this Studcast and on this TV show that's going to change the junior heavyweight picture completely. There's just one more situation, man, that had seemingly brought two family members together under the strangest of circumstances, that had not just blown apart, but was going to significantly change both their lives. And basically, I'm talking about myself and Jimmy Golden. And we're going to be hearing some shocking news from one of those today, and the other going to be he's going to be basically celebrating the news that he hears.
Okay, normally I would be asking, where are we writing today? But it sounds to me like we're about to get a fantastic Studcast starting like right now. So how about the card for the first 4 major Southeastern markets in the second week of February in 1981?
Well, young Ricky Fields was back. He was wrestling Oki Shikina. Robert Gibson was getting his second chance to get even with Ron Bass, who injured his brother Ricky several months earlier in Southeastern. Jerry Stubbs was going to be getting another shot at Brad Armstrong's United States Junior Heavyweight belt. This time it's going to be a no disqualification match. For the Southeastern tag champions, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose, they were going to be defending their belts again against Paul Orndorff and Norvell Austin. And this time it's going to be a no disqualification match. It's going to be a championship match as well. Jimmy Golden was facing his second challenger. After what had happened to the Tennessee stud, Golden got a win over Tony Atlas the week before. And his next challenger was another guy out of the Georgia territory, the legend himself, Mr. Wrestling 2. Then the main event was going to be a non-sanctioned match by Southeastern and by the NWA. Nobody wanted to take responsibility for it. No company was going to be responsible for their wrestlers in a karate legal match. And that's what we were going to have. Massa Siato and Bob Armstrong were on their own in this one, man. They were going to be able to get down and do whatever they wanted to do and use all the karate they wanted to.
Wow, that's a powerful card and deserves a tremendous TV show. So tell us all about that, Ron.
Well, this Studcast is going to break records, man, for numbers of videos and numbers of minutes. We're going to get to 8 videos in this one, Dave. We're going to have 30 minutes of videos from this one show. This is by far bigger than anything we have done so far since we started doing these new Studcasts.
That's completely crazy, Stud. 8 videos lasting 30 minutes. That's half an entire normal TV show. So I can't wait to see this one. Let's get going.
Well, you're not going to have to wait long, Dave. Before we get started, though, I want to say something about these 44-year-old TV shows. Now, many of them are still pretty good quality, considering their age. Most of these matches we show today are in that range, but we will be watching matches from 4 different TV shows today. And I hope everyone will take that fact into consideration about the age of these. And some are not wow. They're not brand new, I guess is a good way of putting it. So this Studcast is going to open with some very bad news for the Southeastern fans. And when Charlie and Les ran down the TV card, which was a great one, and it included the second championship match of the month, this one was for the United States Junior Heavyweight Championship. Brad Armstrong is going to be defending against the world junior heavyweight champion, Jerry Stubbs. And that's going to be for our Tennessee StudStreaming.com customers. They're going to be getting this new Studcast. This one is going to be something special, especially with all these videos in it.
You mentioned there was going to be some bad news for the fans. Okay, are you going to break that to us?
Yeah, it's going to be the first thing, yes, that I want to get to. Charlie and Les, they did after they ran down the TV card. It was also the first video that we're going to introduce in today's Studcast, and this Studcast is number 389. Dave, wow, numbers are getting up there big time. This one was shot in Knoxville, Tennessee. This video happened 2 days before it was seen. Were recorded 2 days later. It was seen there in the Dothan Television studio in the second week of February 1981. It was the Tennessee Stud making his first Southeastern appearance since the double bull rope match where he broke Don Bass's leg and where Jimmy Golden turned on him. And Golden and Ron Bass tied him up to the ring post, and Golden removed his mask and left him pretty much a bloody mess.
Wow, that's how you open a TV show right there. Okay, so I've been wondering what happened to you after that match, and I'm sure many of the listeners out there have also been wondering. So, all right, our producer, Brian, and of course he knows we have 8 of these videos coming today. So Brian is going to set all that up for us, and he's going to play the answer to what happened to the Tennessee Stud. Here we go.
We had a chance to talk to Ron Fuller in Knoxville.
Well, Charlie, I do have a lot of things on my mind. First of all, I just got some stitches taken out of my head yesterday from the altercation with Jimmy Golden, and I just got through seeing a neck specialist here that I've seen several times over the past few years. I've got a bad neck problem. I've always had a bad neck problem, and he's advised me that I shouldn't wrestle for at least 3 or 4 weeks But in this sport, athletes normally get well a lot quicker than the average person does, and I think that I'll be back in the ring in the next couple of weeks or so. However, I do want to, the reason that I called y'all to come to Tennessee is this has been a very tough time for me the last month, 5-6 weeks in my life. I had the problem with John Valiant, who I brought from New York, who I didn't know very well, and it was to be expected that man would possibly turn on me. But this thing with Jimmy Golden is really more than physically hurting my body, and it's been a real mental torment to me, Charlie. I really thought that I could trust Jimmy Golden. I guess I was a real fool to think so, and my brother told me so, and I guess he was absolutely right about it. Well, the reason I called you up here is, like I said, I'm not supposed to compete in the ring for the next month at least, the doctor tells me, but I'm going to be wrestling again very soon, but I'm not going to wrestle in the Southeastern area anymore. I've given this a lot of thought. I feel like that I have been humiliated in this part of the country by the things that's happened to me, especially over this incident with Jimmy Golden. And what I called you up here for is to tell you and to tell the people there in that part of the country that they've all been very fine to me, and I really have enjoyed it. I love that part of the country, but I don't want to compete there anymore. I don't want to be around Jimmy Golden. I don't want to be around the humiliation that I've really suffered there in the past 5 or 6 weeks. And what I want to do, Charlie, is I brought this belt. I knew you were going to be here today, and I'm vacating the Southeastern Championship. I would certainly like the title shot with Harley Race, and I know that there's some tremendous wrestlers in the southeastern part of the United States right now. I know that there's going to be some fine competitors that will lay his hands on this belt, and he may be the next world heavyweight champion. But at this point in time in my life, I don't have the heart, the desire, I don't have the peace of mind, I don't have the things necessary to compete like a man should anymore. And that thing has been very, very personally is one of the finest things that I've ever owned is a Southeastern belt, and I do hate to give it up, but I cannot in good faith come back to the Southeastern United States and compete, and that's it.
There you see the incident taking place. It's certainly surprising that Ron Fuller surrendered the Southeastern title, but when you get to thinking about the family aspect that's involved with cousin Jimmy Golden, there's a lot of problems.
I was about to say, Charlie, I don't think it's the case that Ron's running away, walking away, whatever. Certainly a lot of mental aggravation. I can appreciate that. This is a sport that I've always been proud of as a competitor, as a wrestling commentator. But what's happened needs a little time, I guess, for Ron to clear it out of his mind. It's not the body that's bothering him, it's the mental thing. And I can appreciate that, and we're going to wish Ron the best of luck.
Well, that's all I can say is with the incident and with the comments of Ron, best wishes to the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller, an outstanding...
Okay, I tell you what, I didn't expect that. You gave up your belt and left Southeastern? No wonder. You said lots of fans were going to be disappointed. So, who was in the first TV match?
Well, there were 4 stars in the territory in this one, man. Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. They were going up against Norvell Austin and Robert Gibson in a tag team match. Very first thing on the TV show. Ron Bass came to the set to spend some time with Charlie and Les Thatcher, and we're gonna be playing this entire match too.
Okay, here we go. So we're really off and running today, stud. All right, Brian, our producer, is going to set that up, and here we go with our second video.
Our first match is 1 fall, 10 minutes time limit. Your referee, Larry Brock. Larry Brock, your referee. Introducing in the corner to my left, at a combined weight of 445 pounds, Norvell Austin and Robert Gibson. Austin and Gibson. Their opponents, at a combined weight of 472 pounds, the Southeastern Tag Team Champions, Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey. Rose Rose and Condry taking on the Junkyard Dog and Robert Gibson, and two outstanding athletes against the champions.
Certainly the champions have had rough sledding, Charlie, but they've hung on to those belts tenaciously. They'll get quite an outing with Gibson and Norvell. Should give them quite a team to go against. It will be Dennis Condry starting for the Cousins and the Junkyard Dog. Norvell Austin out as Ron Bass joins us here at our microphone.
Well, this is the first time I've had a chance to come out here and talk to you fellas while the match is going on. And the reason I'm out here is there's one little skinny punk up out in the ring, Mr. Robert Gibson. The man is chasing me around and saying that I heard his brother Ricky, and that he wants to challenge me. Well, that's okay. I want to come out here and say he's going to get annihilated right here on TV today because he's the Southeastern Tag Team Champion, and everybody knows that those Conley can take care of business, baby.
With the ongoing feud with Robert Gibson, certainly you put his brother Ricky out of professional wrestling, and Robert has every right in the world, I would think, to seek a little revenge on Ron Bass.
That reminds me of a dog chasing a Mack truck. What's he going to do once he catches that Mack truck? Robert Gibson ain't even going to get through the Mack. Hey, I guarantee you he's going to get beat because Rose is trying to charge the player.
Gibson looking good now as he moves up on Randy Rose. Nice arm drag. Tags Norvell Austin, and the Dog moves in to take over. Gibson and Austin looking good as a combination, and Ron Bass, certainly law of averages are bound to catch up with you sooner or later. You've put a lot of people on the disabled list, the injured list, and sooner or later it's going to come back to haunt you, I'm afraid.
If you keep yourself in condition, and if you're a superb athlete like I am, you don't have to worry about injuries. Robert Gibson can chase, the Stud can chase, anybody, Paul Orndorff, anybody can chase the big bass man, but once you get him, what are you going to do with him, man? Anybody can do, baby. Look at that move. You ain't said nothing about Rose and Condry. What about that move right there, son?
Randy Rose combines good wrestling in his repertoire here, and nice flying head scissors. I've never said that Rose or Condry couldn't do it at all on that mat, but certainly they elect to cut corners, Charlie.
Indeed. Good flying head scissors by Rose has Norvell tied up with those head scissors, and the Junkyard Dog looks for some means of escape.
May I interrupt? You say cut corners. Does that mean that they try to win a match? Well, that's exactly what they do, Les Thatcher. They win matches, baby. That's what you got to do to be a professional wrestler, is win matches, baby.
Well, there are a set of rules laid down for professional wrestling like any other sport, and the normal object is to follow those particular rules and win within them. But, yes, I say that Rose and Condry, along with yourself, will go outside those rules occasionally, Ron.
Make rules fit your own situation, and that's what makes a loser, and that's what makes a winner. Now, you hadn't said nothing about the pin that is being used right now.
Good move by Robert Gibson. Catches Condry with that abdominal stretch coming off of the rope. Referee Larry Brock asking for a submission. In the meantime, there's a corner being cut by Randy Rose coming off of that rope.
Well, I told you the man would get annihilated today, and look at him now. He's hurt already.
Making the save, gets the tag, and moves in to go to work on Robert Gibson.
I didn't get a chance to hurt this kid. Looks like Rose and Condry might take care of it for me.
Beautiful drop kick from that second hit by Randy Rose. But Gibson being very tenacious, Ron. He's staying right in there.
He is staying all right, but he's getting his brains beat out. There's a big difference, Les Thatcher. You're standing and get your brains beat out. That's ignorant, and that's what's happening right there.
Condry with that reverse chin lock now, applying the pressure to Robert Gibson.
We got it. Just like brother Ricky, boy. Thatcher. Charlie Flatt, did I tell you the man is in for a beating of his life today right here on TV, and he's got the audacity to chase me and want to get hold of the big man when he ain't in my league yet, baby.
Rose clotheslining Gibson, but Gibson bails out on the 2 count. The tag goes to Condry. Condry moves in to take over, and a kick to the midsection. Rose and Condry pounding away at Robert Gibson, and they certainly had him on the run. Looks the tag. We've
got a fresh man in the junkyard dog. Junkyard dog in against Dennis Condrey.
Look at the fist up there on my man last night for Charlie Platt. You ain't said nothing about this. I'm tired of even looking at this. You people are so fine.
Robert Gibson tags back in. Misses Condrey. Condrey hits the mat. A little bit of their own medicine last, I think. Wait a minute. Ron Bass has put his 2 cents worth in. He tripped Robert Gibson. Condrey going down for the pin. And then when Ron Bass can't stand successively on his arm, Robert Gibson out after Bass on the floor. Condrey Rose doubling up on Norvell Austin in the ring. Mass confusion reigning here. Paul Orndorff hits that square circle with cowboy boot in hand, and also Rose and Condrey. Gibson and Bass still going at it on the floor. And
I got to tell you, Stud, I love these videos. The first match of the day ended with a lot going on. I can only imagine how this one is going to end. So who was in the second match?
Well, you're right about one thing, Dave. You have no idea how this one ends. I can tell you that. So Jimmy Golden came to the set with the Tennessee Stud's bloodstained mask, and he was extremely excited about the news from the Tennessee Stud that we just heard there in that video, and he had plenty to say, and he immediately started trying basically to take over the show. Now, at this point, Les was in the back of the studio, and I don't know exactly what he was doing, but it was just Charlie Platt at the set. And I don't think Jimmy was supposed to be there. So we're going to start with Jimmy's first comments, and we'll take it from there.
All right, and our producer, Brian, is going to play the first part of Golden's visit to the set. Here it is.
The man sitting with me now, Jimmy Golden, turned against his own cousin, the Tennessee Stud, Ron Fuller, in the ring. And the challenges continue to come in from wrestlers from all around the country, Jimmy. And frankly, the fans are still shocked as to why you would do such a thing.
Can you imagine that, man? I tell you what, I feel like a real Hollywood star all of a sudden. People coming in from everywhere. Friends of Ron Fuller's done challenging me, getting ready, man. There's going to be the greatest record set ever in the Southeastern area. I'm going to beat them all, baby, line them up, and bring them on. Look here at the Tennessee Stud. That's all that's left of him right there. You know, the man fell right into the spider's web, and I ate him alive. Thanks to all of you people out there. I knew you was on my side all the way. And I'm going to tell you something. The Tennessee Stud is going bye-bye. I'm going to take care of business. Robert Fuller, all his friends. You know, it makes me feel like Superman almost, man. They're all coming right at me, baby. But that's what I want them to do, because I am one of the greatest that's ever been, baby, and I'm here to take on all challenges, especially from them Fuller boys.
Well, I think the question in everyone's mind right now is still, why would you do such a thing?
Well, it's like this, Brother Charlie Platt. The Tennessee Stud and his brother are Tennessee trash. They're no good. The only thing that they ever think about is breaking legs and breaking bones, especially that Tennessee Stud with his inside toe hold. But he has broke his last leg. The Stud I saw him haul him off. I saw him haul the boy off like the Tennessee trash that he is. And he won't be with us no longer. And the day that he does get out of the hospital, he better be facing me. And if he don't, he is a coward. A gutless coward. That's what I'm telling you. A gutless coward, the Tennessee Stud. He is no longer the Tennessee Stud. I am your stud, the super stud, right here, baby.
Wow, Jimmy Golden was on a roll. So what happened after this, Stud?
Well, as soon as he finished his rant, man, he stopped Charlie from excusing him, and took over again, basically saying, he's saying he had a surprise for everybody. He said he wanted to show his all-time favorite video. And he said he had visited the director earlier in the day, which Charlie had no idea of that. And then that he had told the director, then basically he said, run that video. I mean, at this point, he had basically taken the show over. So Charlie basically tried to cut him off real quickly, but Golden basically told Charlie, he said, you better keep your mouth shut until this video's over.
All right, I was kidding when I said he was on a roll. It sounds like he definitely was and had actually taken over. All right, so what was his favorite video? I can't wait. And Brian is going to set that up for us right now.
Eastern wrestling area comes back, and Ron Fuller takes him as a partner. And in a double bull rope match, we see that you again, Jimmy Golden, has turned completely against the Fuller family.
What?
Turned completely.
You know what you're talking about, Charlie.
Let's roll the film if we can.
Let me tell you something. They're going to give me a medal, baby. An honor medal. Because I have come up with the greatest plan, and it all fit together like a real small puzzle.
Well, what we're seeing here is you and Ron Bass coming back into the ring. The inside step over toe hold Ron Fuller has on Donnie Bass. At this point, the leg of Don Bass was broken. But you and Ron Bass lash each arm, each wrist of Ron Fuller, the Tennessee stud, string him up between corners, Jimmy, and just literally start to pound on him.
He had it coming. That jerk has had it coming for all of his born days. He has broke leg after leg, and right there he was going to break Donnie Bass's leg, and there was enough of it. He ain't going to break no more legs because he ain't here no more. And I'm going to tell you something, Tennessee stud. You're going to be bye-bye. He's gone for good because I seen him haul him off like the Tennessee trash that he is. And right here you see he's going to get the licking of his life. You people thought that he was indestructible. Baby, I fixed him. I destroyed him. He is out. There will be no more Tennessee stud. I'm going to be your stud.
Let me ask you a question.
Super stud.
Were you involved with Johnny Valiant? Because Valiant came to this area as the stud's partner and later turned on him. They had their altercations. Valiant's leg is broken. Were you involved in that in any way?
All I can say for Johnny Valiant, he couldn't get the job done, baby. He couldn't get the job done, but Jimmy Golden could. And right here you see Jimmy Golden doing it, baby. I'm taking the mask off of that Tennessee stud. He is no longer the Tennessee stud. I'm the stud.
You're saying that Ron Fuller had this coming, that he deserved it. But, Jimmy, did you ever see him lash anyone to a ring, make them defenseless, and then beat them?
That's true. I have seen them Fuller boys do horrible things that you cannot even imagine. You cannot even imagine. Them boys have had a silver spoon stuck in their mouth ever since the day they was born. And when the going got tough, the Fullers scooted out. They found them on the back door exit, brother. When it gets too tough for them, they get a way out, baby. But right here, there's no way out. I wish you people could have been there to... Indestructible Tennessee stud is gone. They hauled him out, the Tennessee trash. And he is gone bye-bye. There will be no more Tennessee stud. The only stud you're going to see is super stud.
Charlie,
You don't have no reasoning, sensible reasoning for all this taking place.
Right here is your Tennessee stud. I told you one time, and I'll tell you again, he's a no-good jerk that likes to break people's bones, but he's not here no more. There's your Tennessee stud, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks to all you wonderful fans, you've made it possible for me. You made it possible. Where you going, Charlie Platt? You little brown-nosing jerk. You're a knob polisher, boy. Anytime I want the Fullers to know something, I'll just tell you, you're going to leave two less. We don't need you. You can go ahead and leave two.
Let
me tell you something, ladies and
we will get out of this segment of the program because we've run it out.
Okay, well, there's Jimmy Golden. I can't believe he wanted to run that video again.
Well, when the video started and the fans saw what was, what it was all about, basically the unmasking of the Tennessee stud from the week before, they began to boo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Golden didn't care. I mean, he loved that. He never said a word about what was happening on the video, though, because it had been shown the week before. But, the reason was, I think he wanted to just insult the Tennessee stud even further. So he just paid no attention to the video he'd called to have him run, and he just cranked into his own direction. And he began by calling the Tennessee stud a coward. And he said he was a member of a family full of cowards, I think is the way he put it, and saying if the Tennessee stud ever showed his face in Southeastern again, he was going to have to deal with the man. And then he pointed at himself. And I was sitting at home in Pensacola watching this on TV, and wow, I got a little upset by just watching it. So then the boos just got louder, and he continued but he put the target basically on somebody else at this point. And his next challenger was the next week would be Mr. Wrestling number 2. And wow. And it's a good thing Wrestling 2 didn't see this, because he called him an old man. He said the only reason he wore a mask was to keep people from making fun of him because how ugly he was. And then he said that he was going to make an example out of him so that no more wrestlers were ever going to want to come to Southeastern and get in the ring with the best wrestler in the world. And again, he pointed to himself. And wow, he had tremendous heat with the fans, man. At this point, they were on their feet and they were booing him as loud as I ever heard them boo, man. And then he just left the set as soon as the video ended, said nothing more, just disappeared.
All right. Obviously, there was some crazy stuff going on this TV show. So how about the personality profile? Take us to that one.
Well, Bob Armstrong was on the personality profile set with Les Thatcher, and they watched a recent match between him and Saito that showed basically the animosity between the two of these guys. They were having some, vicious, horrible, violent matches.
Wow. Okay. So an understatement, Ron, indeed. All right. Brian's going to set us up and play that video.
I understood that was supposed to be a demonstration when the man bared down and you have to referee too. I know what that hole will do to you. I've been in it before, and that's ridiculous. A demonstration is a demonstration. He wasn't out here to hurt anybody.
That's right.
We have a piece of videotape, Bob, in which you were in action against Mr. Saito. Wayne, if we could, let's roll that tape.
You know, lately, every time you see Saito, you see Condrey and Rose. There's an old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Every time I see these three, it looks like buzzards to me. That's the kind of feathered friends they are. Now, right here, we'd been going pretty good, Charlie, and I did go to the use of a little martial arts. He'd been doing it to me all night, so I just retaliated. It was a pretty hard-fought match. We were both down and out here. In fact, I believe the referee was counting us both at this time. But this form of the sleeper hold does cut off the carotid artery, and it'll put you out in a minute. Now, here I was just beating him to the punch a little bit. He was trying to jack my jaw a little, and I showed him what jaw jacking and chest slapping was all about, brother. I was popping him good, but here he comes right back. It was kind of nip and tuck here. He can hit hard, and I don't hit easy myself. And here he grabbed the headlock, and here he went. He caught me with a knee right here. I had a move for him, but he caught me with a knee, and that knocked me senseless. I ended up with one leg on the rope. He's a tough man, no doubt about it. And here he goes with that martial art. So he hits you right in the sternum, takes your breath. He uses a lot of moves. He's a good wrestler, but he certainly knows that martial art. Now here he's going to every move he can. He's choking, he's scratching, biting, anything he can do, and he's noted for that. He's known all over the world for that. Here he's got me against the rope, and he's throwing me in right here. He's going to put the quietus to me, but I ducked. And when I ducked, I caught him by surprise, nailed him a couple of times. There I put it on him. Now I had it on him real good. Now in a minute you're going to see the other birds of a feather that flock together. The other buzzards are going to come right in the ring. Here they come. Every time I turn around, there they are. Now you're going to see them hold me in just a second there. I fought him for a minute. Now he hits me with a karate shot right here. They put my Adam's apple down to my kneecap somewhere. And then he puts his hold on me. Now that's exactly the kind of trick he tried to pull right here. 3-on-1. That's the way they like it. Now they're having a ball here, and finally he puts me completely out. But you know, Charlie, to me, that's not what professional wrestling is all about. 3-on-1. Now here comes Paul and Norvell to try to get him off of me, and they were fighting him off. And he had me out. He could have let me go. I didn't even know where I was at this time. They were fighting to get in. He just wanted to do permanent damage because, sure enough, if you hold the Japanese sleeper the way he uses it, it'll do permanent damage to you. You cut off that carotid artery to the brain long enough, and it's going to do some brain damage. You can see he's holding on. He knows he's got me. He ain't moving a muscle. Everybody's fighting to get in, and finally, they do the job and get him off of me. And I was in Never Never Land. The Sandman had come to see me in the form of one big Japanese wrestler. But you know, like I say, they all flock together, three of them. If you see Condrey or Rose, you see Saito. But sooner or later, this gang of buzzard is going to be busted up. Maybe sooner than later, because I got a plan just like they have. And it might work, brother. It's going to work.
Comments from Bob Armstrong.
You know what? I guess they really did hate each other. There was definitely some karate in that match. All right, so who was next, Stud?
Well, you know, it was after the one they just watched. They watched another one. And this one, Dave, was even more violent than the last one was.
You've got to be kidding. All right. How much worse could it get? All right, here we go. Let's play this one.
United Boutwell Auditorium, a Super Southeastern Wrestling lineup. One of the feature matches is a karate legal match, non-sanctioned by Southeastern Wrestling, pitting this man, Bob Armstrong, against the Oriental Ace, Mr. Saito. Before I talk to Bob, let's hear from Mr. Saito.
Karate legal match. This is my match. You know, American karate, too soft, so down, not too good. Japanese karate is so great karate. I am just good and our power. All right, Bob Armstrong, you got to be the biggest fool in the world to sign a match not sanctioned by the NWA. Karate legal match with this man.
There you have it, Bob. How do you feel?
Well, sanctioned or not, I sanctioned it and Saito sanctioned it. And I notice any time you see him, you see Condrey and Rose. It's kind of like birds of a feather flocking together, and there was 3 buzzards if I've ever seen them. Well, they could get their little beaks chopped off. Why not a karate match? Every time I turn around in Birmingham, that Saito is karate and me half to death. Well, why not make it legal? Let's just karate each other. And like I said before, he might be a master. He might know a million ways to chop me to pieces. But I know one darn good way to chop you, brother. And you know what? It only takes one, Les. It only takes one place. One in the right place, brother, and you will go down like the big Japanese bull that you are. And I hope Condrey and Rose are waiting in the ring, because when you fall, brother, I hope that Boutwell Auditorium will shake for 5 minutes when your big 245-pound carcass hits the mat. And if you decide to get into it like you usually do, I'm going to have me some troops waiting this time. It could turn into an all-scale war. Well, if it does, so be it. I'm tired of getting chopped up. I got stitches in my head. My shoulder's dislocated. But who cares? In Boutwell, we're going to get it on karate, kung fu, or boogaloo.
Monday night in Birmingham.
Wow, Stud, you were absolutely right. I thought Saito could possibly kill Bob Armstrong, keeping a sleeper hold on him that long. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was, man, and extremely dangerous. Those sleeper holds were really, really, really bad. And, you know, Bob Armstrong, I don't know if fans, everybody knows it, was a Marine. And, I mean, and from what I heard, he was the best at karate in his entire troop when he was there. He was king, man, with that. So these two guys were about to have one of the most dangerous matches in wrestling history. And Bob made that point crystal clear when they finished the personality profile.
Oh, I bet. All right. So who was next on this fantastic TV show?
Well, a wrestler really that hadn't been involved in his first match, and we're going to get to watch him in the next TV match.
All right, these videos just keep coming this week. Brian, our producer, is going to play the 7th video from this TV show, and here we go.
Your attention, please. Our next match, 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left, from Riverdale, Georgia, at 248 pounds, Ken Timms. Ken Timms. His opponent, at 280 pounds, from Pampa, Texas, Ron Bass. Ron Bass.
Ron Bass taking on Ken Timms, and we're going to be seeing the other side of that tag team coin, Charlie. After this match, we'll roll that tape through again, and Andy Armstrong's with us out here.
I'd like to hear their comments on that, and I certainly think they deserve a chance to hear their comments about the match. Bass going to work early.
Ken from Riverdale, Georgia, getting indoctrinated with the Ron Bass way of professional wrestling, and not too enjoyable indoctrination here, Charlie.
A lot of people wonder about wrestling, how they can have it sponsored in their community. The information going across the screen now for non-profit organizations. Write to Southeastern Wrestling, WTVY, Box 1089, Dothan, Alabama, 36301. Information on how to have wrestling, sponsor wrestling in your town or community as a fundraising event.
Right now, Bass with that headlock and going for the Bulldog headlock on Ken Timms, and Ron Bass wasting no time as he bailed right into Timms, pulls him up by the hair on the count of 1. Referee Weathers warning Bass about that particular infraction, but Bass like a man possessed in there today, Charlie.
And again, Bass dropping that elbow for the pin. That's going to wrap it up.
And your winner in short time, the big Texan Ron Bass over Ken Tim.
You know what? This Studcast is becoming one of the best ever. I don't know how you can top what we've already seen in this episode. All right, so who is in the last TV match?
Well, speaking of what we've already seen, Dave, this next tape was the worst video-wise of any today. You know, and I have to apologize off the top here a little bit because the volume's a little low and the picture is not the greatest. But I think it was an absolute necessity once I saw this one because of what happens in it to get this into the show. So it was the second championship TV match in the month of February 1981. It was for the United States Junior Heavyweight Championship belt of Brad Armstrong against the World Heavyweight Junior Heavyweight Champion Jerry Stubbs. Mm-hmm. And this one, Dave, I think is gonna really shock fans.
Wow. Okay. After all we've seen today, Stud, how in the world were you going to do that? And here comes that video.
This event, U.S. Junior title match, 1 fall, 15-minute time. Introducing at 208 pounds from Marietta, Georgia, the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion, Brad Armstrong. His opponent, 225 from Atlanta, Georgia, Jerry Stubbs.
Jerry Stubbs, the shot for Brad Armstrong, the champion, his championship month here on Southeastern Wrestling. We've got action, collar and elbow. Headlock takedown by Stubbs. And, of course, you mentioned last week, Charlie, a title match on television means a shorter time limit, so the challenger must carry the battle through the champion. He must open up early. Stubbs in control offensively now. We might mention to the fans a little sidelight here. The fact that Jerry Stubbs was one of the people instrumental in the training of Brad Armstrong for the professional ranks. So, to some degree, it is the teacher and the student in the ring right now. And, of course, in this instance, the student is the champion and the teacher the challenger. As you mentioned earlier, Jerry Stubbs holding the U.S. Junior title longer than any other man in the history of that particular belt. And Brad Armstrong, the youngest wrestler to ever hold that same title.
The professional career of Brad Armstrong, less than 1 year old.
That's right. Of course, you know, there's always heartbreak in a career also. Charlie, down, and the sudden success. Brad has handled it well, and hopefully on those down periods that this young man will be as competitive, as strong of will, and as concerned with what's going on in that ring as he is right now when he is at the top of the heap in the United States Junior Heavyweight Division.
Stubbs calmly taking the offense in this match, and as you mentioned earlier, it's going to take the challenger taking it to the champion because of the time limit on television.
Stubbs has been in control. He moved right in. He took the headlock, had the takedown, and holding Brad on the canvas. Certainly Jerry Stubbs, as he mentioned on our interview earlier today, is the veteran of the team crew in there, Armstrong and Stubbs. So certainly you've got to give him the edge there. Tackle, a nice one by Jerry. Brad will do that hip. Beautiful. Good reversal. Armstrong takedown. Hangs on. Taps that arm. Stubbs using a handful of hair. Takes his man over into the reverse chancery now.
This probably lists two of the more colorful personalities in pro wrestling today. You have Brad, of course, and we've mentioned it 100 times, a young man, 18 years of age, the youngest U.S. junior champion ever. Jerry Stubbs held the title longer than anyone else. Also, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion. And apart from his arrogant personality, you have got to hand it to Stubbs. He's an outstanding competitor.
Stubbs has got the credentials, no doubt about that. Right now, Jerry opening up. I was feeling a strategy earlier. He had 19-pound weight advantage and his experience, taking Brad down with the headlock and the chancer, going to that front face slide now. He seems to be using his weight, hoping to wear Brad down early. Apparently planning on opening up, cutting Brad's endurance down now, taking the speed away from him. And, of course, Jerry can move well in that ring himself. And with that 19-pound weight advantage or so, that I think he's going about it the right way. Brad battling back, opens up a nice double shot to the midsection, and Stubbs is slowed down temporarily, Charlie.
Stubbs backs away. a career for Brad Armstrong and what training he has had in pro wrestling. Takes his man over into the turnbuckle.
The main thing I think with Brad, Charlie, he's taken the practical experience in the gym and put it to work in on-the-job training, which many times you can teach a good athlete in the gym, but under fire, he cannot apply what he's learned. Brad has been able to do this very successfully. Stubbs out. Brad trying for the pin, moves in now, going for that small package. May have his challenger here, and Stubbs is able to power out. Stubbs still very much in this one. Brad now on the offense, and he has just taken control in that particular category. Moments ago, a nice elbow sends Stubbs to the canvas.
2 count again on challenger Jerry Stubbs.
Brad moving in with that headlock, and Stubbs down.
Trying to stay in the middle and not pull for any opponent as we're supposed to do. I feel that Brad should be very cautious because putting that title on the line on television is one thing, but putting it on the line against a man who held it as long as Jerry Stubbs, Brad cannot be too cautious at this stage.
Exactly, Charlie. Well, you know, I was just going to say, I sit here as a former wrestler, second-guessing. I don't really know what's in Brad's mind or in Jerry's, but Brad had him on the go. Now, Brad has settled in. I would have done that, but, of course, he's wrestling a different strategy than I would have done. But, again, we must point out that Stubbs the veteran of the two. Brad Armstrong has certainly set the wrestling world on its ear in a very short period of time. Just some 7 months as a professional now has held 2 major titles, and this one being the most prestigious thus far, the United States Junior Heavyweight belt. Going for that second tackle, Stubbs anticipates and stops him cold, doubles him up with that shot to the midsection. So there with the experience of Jerry Stubbs is coming to play. Nice move by Brad, but Stubbs tucking under that rope, and Brad caught himself on that top. Dennis Connie and Randy Rose with a board wanting Jerry Stubbs to plow away at Brad Armstrong here, Charlie.
And it's Stubbs.
Stubbs undecided. He can't make up his mind. He's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it. Jerry Stubbs telling Connie Rose to get lost. Wait a minute here. Connie Rose moved in, and they stopped Jerry Stubbs. Brought that board down across Stubbs' forehead. And Brad Armstrong helping Stubbs out. Connie Rose considered that board, and here comes Bob Armstrong. Connie with the board now. Used it on Bob last week. Saito moves into that ring. And Charlie with that mass confusion. This title match certainly has to be considered over at this point. Ron Flinker moves in. Flinker chopping away at Saito. Austin, Orndorff, and others. Stubbs. Let's go in there. Back this one up and recap briefly as we keep our cameras on the ring. Jerry Stubbs was handed a board by Dennis Connery and Randy Rose. Stubbs undecided, and I think Connery and Rose may have made a decision for him. He wouldn't use the board. Brad will maintain his title, certainly because of outside interference. But Connery Rose actually attacked Stubbs, Charlie.
Indeed. I'll tell you, what a turn of events here. Connery and Rose attacking Stubbs. We'll be back with more action on Southeastern Wrestling.
You know what? I apologize, Ron. I think I was wrong completely on that. That was the wildest thing in this Studcast by far. So set up what happened in the arenas the following week for us.
Well, Ricky Fields, he lost to Oki Shikina. Shikina, one of his few wins, basically. I don't know how he beat Ricky Fields, but he did manage to get a win, finally. Robert Gibson was beat by Ron Bass, who put his feet on the ropes to get the win. He cheated. And after what happened to Jerry Stubbs on the TV match, these two, I'm talking about Jerry Stubbs going up against Brad Armstrong in the house, had the magnificent babyface matches every night that week. They ended in 30-minute time limit draws because the matches were set up to be 30-minute time limit. And, wow, they were having the kind of matches that just built territories. I mean, fans watch these kind of matches. You couldn't help but become wrestling fans. And in the no disqualification Southeastern Tag Championship matches, Paul Orndorff and Norvell Austin ended up fighting Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose all the way back to their dressing room. Both teams got counted out, and obviously that saved the champions' belts again, because you couldn't win it on a disqualification or a count out. Jimmy Golden beat his second challenger, Mr. Wrestling number 2, who was there basically, I suppose, to represent me, the Tennessee Stud. And, I had known Mr. Wrestling, too, for a long, long time. Had a lot of great matches with him. And, I was really honored to kind of have him come and wrestle Jimmy. So then the non-sanctioned last match, the karate legal match between Bob Armstrong and Saito, ended up with just about every wrestler on the card in the ring. I mean, they started out with a little bit of karate, and they ended up with something that Brian went down there. I mean, I'm sorry, Brad went down there to kind of had to try to stop his dad, and then along came other people from the other dressing room, and it ended up being a ring full of wrestlers, and they did. Thank goodness they managed to get these guys out of there without one of them getting hurt badly.
It sounds like another big night for the fans, no doubt. So how about the attendances in the 4 major markets? Set it up for us.
Full buildings again, man. I mean, Birmingham, 5,300 people. Mobile, 5,700 people. Montgomery, 4,300. Dothan, 5,300 people.
Wow.
20,300 in 4 nights.
You know, they always call Dothan a hotbed for wrestling. And that has to be why. When Dothan has attendance that's equal almost to every one of those towns that you mentioned, with 5,300. So no surprise there at the old Houston County Farm Center. All right, listen, we're not going to have enough time this week on this episode for a learning tree question, but we're going to get you to set us up with what's happening next week. Where are we riding on the next episode next week, Ron?
Well, we wanted to get the Southeastern Championship belt that the Tennessee Stud gave up on this TV show, the early part of this TV show that we're just finishing here in this Studcast. And we wanted to get that belt on someone as soon as possible. So we changed the advertised card in Pensacola. This was very unusual. Pensacola's wrestling night was always Sunday night. It had a card scheduled there. But since the belt had been given up on the TV show that they watched, we went in there and changed that card. Immediately went out and announced that we were going to have a one-night tournament instead of the matches that were advertised for the abandoned Southeastern belt. And fans loved that more than the card that they were going to see, I believe. And Ron Bass ended up winning the Southeastern Championship in this tournament. And he was going to be defending it in all the major markets in that week against Paul Orndorff. And this card had been, totally changed from what it had been. Ken Lucas was the 3rd challenger who was coming to Southeastern to face Jimmy Golden. And we were having a first ever women's live match, man, which we had a woman teamed up with a man on each team, and the women wrestled the men could wrestle the women. It was one of our ideas, so I don't know that anybody ever did one of these, to be honest with you. But wow, this turned out to be a tremendous match. We started to want to book them more and more. It was really, really good stuff.
Wow. Okay. I mean, this has been a tremendous Studcast and TV show, to use the same word you did. Maybe one of the best ever. Any final comments today, Stud?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for the birthday wishes that we mentioned earlier in the show. And please tell your friends and neighbors out there about us, and take good care of yourselves and others, and may God bless us all.
For Ron Fuller in the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, I'm David Summers saying thank you for listening. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/DSummers955. On Twitter, X, it's Dave_Doin. On Instagram, it's Instagram.com, David Summers Productions. And hit me up anytime at davidsummersproductions@gmail.com. This Studcast is a David Summers production for Tennessee Stud, LLC.
Thanks for joining us today for this historic Studcast. The true story continues next week. So full Nelson your friends and point them in our direction for another ride with the Tennessee Stud.
1, 2, 3.
This is David Summers saying so long from the Great Smoky Mountains.